What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And here we are with another reaction. In this one, we have why Polish Britons are leaving the UK, a post-Brexit exodus. What's going on? Before we dive in, if you happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Let's see what's going on.
It's time to move back. Britain isn't home anymore. After seeing a massive influx of Polish migrants in the years following the 2004 enlargement of the EU, Polish Britons are ready to pack up and leave. Why?
Dang.
In a word, Brexit, although we have to be fair and acknowledge that several factors were in play. Social, economic, and political reasons that contributed towards migration. But in this case, migration back to Poland. Along the way, several Britishers are also looking to make the move to Poland too.
Oh, dang.
Was all of this because of restrictions following the 2020 British withdrawal, or was it something else, something worse? According to a December 2023 dataset, there are approximately 900,000 Polish people living in the United Kingdom. These numbers include people born in Great Britain of Polish descent or people born in Poland who've since relocated there. In any case, their numbers make up a sizable portion of the overall population of the UK.
Agreed.
Polish nationals are the largest non-British group living in the UK.
Oh.
The numbers are in front of us. British Poles, Polish Britons, or Polish British people make up a good population of the overall number of people residing in the United Kingdom. However, there's been a shift in recent times. While there might have been a time, particularly when the free movement was in place, when Polish people flocked to the UK in large numbers, searching for better economic opportunities, that's now becoming a part of history. Speaking of economic opportunities, actually some Polish Britons now believe that there are better job opportunities to seek out in Poland. People are moving back, the same people who moved to the United Kingdom with big hopes and dreams. The question is...
They said it's time to come back home. They said this UK post-Brexit ain't it. They said before when we moved here, it was opportunity. It was a great economy. It was nice. But now things starting to go south, and we ready to go ahead, go back home, ready to get back to Poland, where it's probably now more opportunities than there is here, and the economy's starting to, it's on the rise, where UK economy stagnant or declining. They like, let's get back to the crib. Dang.
Why? What happened in the UK that's caused a shift in their perspective? To better understand what happened, we have to rewind and go back to 2004, when the European Union saw its largest enlargement yet. That was when the A10 nations pledged to join the coalition. Most of the members of the A10 were part of the former Eastern Bloc. Their entry into the EU marked a momentous occasion for Europe. But not everyone in the EU15 was as welcoming as the A10 had hoped. Well, maybe not every member of the A10, but certainly the ones which were economically disadvantaged than the EU15. For example, when it came to granting the A10 complete EU rights, including free movement, Cyprus was one of the only countries that was allowed free movement access right off the bat. Other countries, including Poland, were placed in a special status. Since we're talking about the United Kingdom, the UK announced that while Polish immigrants could move and work in the country as permitted by the EU constitution, they would not be eligible for benefits. Free movement was a contested issue, with several politicians in the EU15 nations claiming that the influx of migrants would be catastrophic. That's where the image of the Polish plumber first emerged. It was a term presented in Charlie Hebdo, but was later popularized in French politics when the issue of immigration as a result of the EU largest enlargement came up. One French politician, Philippe de Villiers, claimed that the influx of migrants would cause 1 million French workers to be out of a job. He claimed it would be because of Polish plumbers or Estonian architects. In any case, net immigration did go up across EU member states, however, only by 2%. While there were
Oh,
some people who raised Eurosceptic notions attached to that 2%, many agreed that Eastern migration workers had contributed positively toward the economy.
yeah,
If
they
anything,
all scared of the immigration, and the fact that Cyprus was the only one allowed free movement in the beginning is dirty. They should have all been allowed free movement once they were a part of the EU, because they a part of the EU. But it seems like no, they said Poland that's a special case. But it seems like when they opened up for you movement for Poland, they did flock. A lot of them did flock to the UK. Understanding what such a better opportunity, and Poland becoming part of the European Union is incredible. But now they flocking right back.
the Polish plumber campaign was also widely popular in Poland, where Polish tourism companies advertised attractive plumbers on their posters, stating that people from other countries all over the world should visit the home of the Polish plumber. Additionally, because of the backlash surrounding the free movement, the A10 also wanted some reassurances of their own.
I
That,
feel
ladies and
that.
gentlemen, is how Article 50, better known as the amendment to the EU Charter that allowed for a nation's withdrawal from the coalition, came into effect. What's most interesting about the amendment is that while the A10 pushed for the article, an EU 50 nation was the one and the only one to ever use it. In
The
2020,
UK.
that's 4 years after Britain announced its decision to go forward with its withdrawal from the EU. Brexit was officially in place. For the rest of the world, Brexit happened in January 2020, but for EU member citizens, it happened in late 2020 or early 2021. That's
Got you.
because of the transitional period granted by the Brexit divorce agreement, which allowed member nations 1 more year to make use of the free movement scheme. On that note, this was known as the EU settlement scheme. EU member nations could apply to live in the United Kingdom following the end of the transitional period, which would cease free movement. During this time, they were granted a special
Dang.
immigration status known as settled or non-settled. The procedure was relatively straightforward. Those who'd lived in the UK prior to the completion of the transitional period were granted settled status with the indefinite leave to remain. Those who
Okay.
were nearing their 5-year term but not quite there yet were allowed to leave to remain, provided the 5 years were completed. In any case, applications for the settlement scheme had to be processed before December 2020. At the
Okay.
end of the transitional period, the UK revealed that most applicants were from Romania or Poland. 1,415,310 and 1,181,550 applicants,
That's a lot of people.
respectively.
God
Despite the
dang.
numbers clearly indicating that Polish people, particularly workers, preferred moving to the UK to seek better economic opportunities, we've
Yeah.
come to a standstill in recent times. At the time of Brexit, there was widespread panic over what would happen to Polish nationals who'd moved
Oh.
to the UK or those who were in the process. It seemed limiting for some families who wished to move
Yeah.
but never got the opportunity to. An important aspect to remember here is that besides economic opportunities, the UK offered something else:
What's
community,
that?
a Polish community, but one nonetheless. As of 2021, 900,000 Polish Britons lived in the UK with their own communities, educational systems, and labour markets. In fact,
Dang.
Polish integration into the
So,
UK
I saw Romania at 450,000. Did they just decide like to go home? Did the UK decline most of their application as opposed to Poland's application? What happened with Romania? They Brexit hit. They got up out of there. Yeah, I'm intrigued at what happened to Romania because they had more applicants than Poland. Yet Poland has double the amount of people there than Romania.
UK's educational system has been rapid, with several GCSE exams being conducted in Polish. A move, by the way, which has been contested in Parliament, deeming it cost ineffective in recent years. We've now covered the concerns surrounding Polish migration and why they wanted to move to the United Kingdom, both arguments with otherwise plausible points. Now, the real question: why do they want to move back? Anti-Polish sentiments or Polonophobia? Should I return to Poland? A question often asked in online forums, a question that's become increasingly common in recent times. By recent times, we mean since 2020, when Brexit officially took place. To recap, A major slogan during Brexit was to reclaim Britain, and to do so, a pledge was made to create British jobs for British people. Working on the Polish plumber narrative, many people who'd emigrated from Poland sought odd jobs in the UK, particularly in sectors that required menial labor but were underfunded. To name one,
Okay.
the hospitality industry, a UK job sector that was heavily reliant on Polish migrants filling in. With Brexit, many Polish nationals went back to Poland as most of these jobs were seasonal. So did the Leave voters get what they asked for? Were there more jobs available to them? Well, yes, the hospitality sector needed people to fill in the roles that were left vacant.
Of course.
But even today, most of those roles have remained vacant.
Of
Why?
course.
Simply put, the sector is underfunded and cannot provide competitive salaries as other sectors, even comparable ones such as retail. With migrant workers, the hospitality sector could do away with paying them 20% less than the country's average wages for nationals.
See, that's what I don't get about people. When they say, oh, they're coming over here, they're taking all of our jobs, and they talk about, like, people immigrating, people migrate. It's like a lot of the time they're doing jobs that you don't even want. They're doing jobs that most of the citizens aren't even applying for in the country. So why? What are you complaining about? That's always a crazy thing to me, and that just shows it. Like in the hospitality sector, people left, right? Okay, now those jobs are still vacant because it was an underfunded industry, and now it doesn't offer the competitive salary. So the British citizens are like, well, we don't want that. It's not. They don't pay enough. Okay, but you were complaining that they was taking their job.
Despite the evidence being right there in front of us, there are some people in Britain who believe that Polish people should not be allowed back into the country, even if
Wow,
there is a market that's heavily reliant on them. While these
that's so
people do
dumb.
not make up a majority of the population of the
So
country,
dumb.
the fact remains that anti-Polish sentiments in the United Kingdom do exist and have gained traction in recent times. Economic, social, and political, take your pick, these are just some of the influences that have brought up a wave of Polanophobia in Britain.
Yeah,
Before
I
Brexit,
see.
Polish immigrants made up a seismic majority of EU nationals in the UK, which inadvertently came with a level of discrimination. The most common rhetoric was that Polish immigrants were there to take their jobs. The
Jobs they didn't even
2016
want.
referendum campaign featured heated debates over immigration, with some politicians and media outlets depicting EU migrants, including Poles, as a strain on public services and a source of social problems. As a result, Polish residents reported feeling less welcome and more susceptible to discrimination.
That's
Although the
crazy.
UK government has condemned xenophobia and taken measures to protect the rights of EU citizens living in Britain, the social climate has not entirely improved. This rhetoric led to a significant rise in incidents of hate speech and physical attacks. The murder of Polish factory worker Arkadiusz Jauswyk in Harlow in 2016, shortly after the Brexit vote, starkly exemplified the violent consequences of this growing intolerance.
Oh my
Too little too
God.
late, Polish people are moving back. What motivated Polish people to go
I
back?
see you out Poland. I mean, they don't feel welcome there no more. Like people are treating them absolutely awfully. People are being what is it, polanophobia, however you say it. It's ridiculous. People are complaining. They're taking their job. You don't even want those jobs. Those jobs are still vacant now. Yet, even though the industry was heavily reliant on them, you still don't want them to come back and do those jobs. But I guarantee you're gonna complain about those jobs being vacant now. And it's just no. It's just so
There are
dumb.
several reasons, but in a word, Brexit. The UK's withdrawal from the coalition was monumental in more ways than one. For people of different backgrounds in Great Britain, some of the Britain for British People slogan alluded to a rise in violence soon to come. Motivated by fear, economic disparities, and overall, a sense of longing, many Polish people moved back home. Again, there were more reasons than one. Poland's economy has experienced substantial growth over the past decade, becoming one of the fastest growing in the EU. This boom has created job opportunities with higher wages, making Poland an attractive option for those considering a return after having initially left for better prospects. Construction, IT, and manufacturing sectors have expanded significantly, offering well-paying positions that can rival or even surpass those in the UK. In addition to economic opportunities, Poland has seen significant improvements in its quality of life, including better infrastructure, healthcare, and education. Modernization efforts have enhanced urban living conditions, making cities more attractive places to live. Education has also improved, with many universities and schools offering high standards of learning. The uncertainties and challenges posed by Brexit have also played a crucial role in prompting Polish migrants to consider returning home. The bureaucratic hurdles and potential instability have created an environment of uncertainty. Additionally, the social climate post-Brexit has sometimes been perceived as less welcoming, with reports of increased xenophobia and discrimination against immigrants.
That's
Lastly, there is a
crazy.
strong desire to
That's
reconnect
so
with their culture.
ridiculous. I
Poland's
love
rich
that.
cultural heritage, vibrant social scene, and familial ties provide a sense of
See,
belonging and comfort that can be difficult to replicate in a foreign country.
and my thing is, if they wanted to go back because they missed their culture, because they wanted to go back home, I love that. That's completely understandable. Shout out to you. Go back home. But the fact that a lot of that any of them went back because they were feeling unwelcome, they were feeling discriminated against, is absolutely ridiculous, and that's just intolerable to me. But like I said, you want to go back home because you miss home, you miss the culture and everything. I'm all for that. But that's just ridiculous of the UK to act that way towards them.
According to the British Embassy in Warsaw, about 2,500 Britons live and work in Poland, though the actual number is likely higher due to unregistered incomers. Anecdotal evidence
Okay.
points to a significant increase in Brits moving to Poland recently. This reverse migration is minor
Uh-oh.
compared to the estimated 2 million Poles who left
Oh
since
my
2004,
gosh.
but it's notable nonetheless. Despite Poland's unappealing communist-era urban planning, its rural areas and landscapes are attractive. Many
Yeah,
Brits
that's
move to Poland
gorgeous.
for financial opportunities, as starting a business or earning in sterling can be lucrative under the enterprise-friendly government led by
Oh.
Donald Tusk. The first wave of Brits arrived post-communism to help establish capitalist practices. Poles generally welcome Brits as long as they avoid rowdy behavior and rarely express concerns about job competition, partly due to low unemployment rates influenced by many Poles working elsewhere in the EU.
Love
According
that.
to an article by The Guardian, several British nationals who'd moved to Poland were asked why they considered the shift. In their opinion, it was because Poland offered a sense of serenity that the UK lacked. Over the
Uh-oh.
years, the UK has seen massive interest rates and near recession conditions, all of which have taken a toll on the average taxpayer who's now had to dip into their savings. The UK has
I
also
feel
become
that,
increasingly
bro.
saturated in almost every job market, with vacancies only available in sectors that do not pay comparable salaries. People in the UK, those who were born there, have reported feeling lost in their own country. With rising bills, fuel poverty led on by the Russo-Ukrainian war, and homelessness at an all-time high, why wouldn't they want to move elsewhere? Is this what Polish Britons had anticipated?
I feel y'all, Poland. I feel y'all, bro. It be hard to survive out here. I'm telling y'all. But I absolutely enjoyed that. Understand why Polish Britons would want to come back due to missing culture. Understand why British nationals would want to move over for financial reasons. Um, Ever since post Brexit, it seems as the UK has been kind of struggling in that sector a bit. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about this video. I don't agree with any kind of discrimination. I don't agree with any type of making people feel unwelcome. That's just wrong. If you ask me, point blank, period. That's how I feel about it. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and check out the next one. See you guys next time.